Okay, class. Let's have a revision for what we have completed in chapter 7. So pretty much we have now complete the technology of PHP. And this time, what we have incorporated now is the login. So this is one small part of your outcomes that if you will put them all together, now it's a purely project now. It's a PHP project. Let's go back to our chapter 1. We learned a lot in chapter 1 in the technology, right? So we came across what is dynamic, static, and we also distinguish the different technology that we use, using the hardware, using from the server side and from the client side. But however, since our course is all about PHP, of course our language that we're studying the whole semester is all about PHP. And it's been quite a waiting when we are now reaching after midterm the database connectivity. So you can now see that this is now a total complete PHP program that comes along with your 7 chapters. So assuming that this would be our centralized database, literally this is your MyPHP admin, correct? So your MyPHP admin, it has a schema where the database, several databases may be stored there. I'm not only talking about one database. There are so many, more than one. And each one of the databases has also multiple tables. So you could just imagine that comes with a schema which is related table. So relational database pretty much here. So in our course, of course, this is a typical web server or particularly database server, and this is running with your MyPHP admin. And you remember that we have done static pages, several pages displaying value from your forms, form handling. You put some information on the form, submit, and an action will go into display, even without the database yet. So we practice there, the whole midterm period. We practice how to handle the data. And at least that data will depend on the variable that you assign, like a $ variable name, right? With the use of a $_post, it might be handful, because we can now make some expression. And we printed them along the way. So we use some concatenation, we use several echo if you wish, and the most important is we also even managed to make some expression. We calculate. Remember that? We make some calculation. So somewhere here actually, you have done several pages, because this is a typical website now. We're not only talking about one page, and this is literally dynamic. Why? Because once that we learn the programming, that's the time that we started doing the validation. Remember that one, right? We did the validation on a typical form. What's the purpose behind why we did the validation? We wanted to have a precise data, correct data, that this data should be treated as a very important information that should be correct if you want to display. So same thing also. If we validate that one, so we are pretty secure in the sense that you're storing the data later on in your database. Because your form itself will have client-side, like a client-side validation, but perhaps what we did is also a server-side validation because it runs on the back end. Okay. After that one, what we done is a little more dynamic page. You remember that we have created multiple files, a single file, and we made some header files, header and footer. And dynamically, we include them using an include function. So that might also be included from your user interface design, right? The user experience or the beautification of your website with the use of CSS. Later, it was been integrated all here. We use that one. We have several activities that we have done on that particular topic. Eventually, after some time, of course, next chapter, now we learn the database. We created, we run, we created a typical CLI, or even using a GUI on your MyPHP admin. And the most awaited part here is we created now a string database so that we could connect it from your PHP. Right. So recently, we have done some like a typical form handling, that login page will going to accept your username and password, and that will going to be validated through your database. But perhaps before that one, we have done a lot of form handling. So registration, if you click and submit an action, we're going to execute based on the method post. But during that time, we are only posting it statically. But this time, we will insert that one in your database. 1 second. I'll give you time for that one later. Right? Look at me first. Right. And later on, this registration will definitely be a part of your credentials. Right? And so many services. Remember the CRUD that we have developed? You successfully created a string database connectivity, and perhaps now you're retrieving, creating a record, deleting a record, and updating the record, right? But it become more better and better because we studied also and applied the sticky forms, right? Which is a part of the form also. And perhaps yesterday, we have completed our session. So we have applied the session based on the login credentials that we will going to validate. That session will hold the moment that your session is starting. We use the session_start function, and throughout your pages will going to be active. The reason why we have a session, because we could not pass a certain variable, which is a primitive variable, which is only locally applied only in a particular page. But if you pass that variable to other page, we don't use that one anymore. We use a session variable. That's perhaps the most important, because just like I said, once that we're doing now a typical transaction, like you're adding services, you're inserting from your database, you're deleting from your database, of course, that will be based on the session. And even yesterday, we completed the logout. Later, after this, I will show you the demonstration. We completed the logout. When we log out or sign out, the session will be destroyed. Right? So which means we use a session_destroy, or the session will be unset. Right? So to have a clear picture of this, basically this is one of our activity on your e-learning, which is regarding the login using the PDO as well. Right. Let me run this one first using login and show you the database that we have created over here. Because the database here is connected to our table session DB, right? Using login. There, right, this one. So you can see that we have created this one in one of your slides, which is 16. And the name of the database is session.db, and the table name is login. So we just enter this one, and of course the structure of your table will going to be, ID will be primary key with integer, auto increment, username. By the way, the username was added with a unique, so that the username will not be duplicate, because this will be our login later. And the password, for the meantime, we just made it like an integer, which is only required number. But anyhow, you can also work as a bar chart if you want to combine numbers and letters. All right. Okay, there. I forgot to open this. Remember that this is normally one of the multiple files that we include. You know how I incorporate this file now with that activity 7.2 yesterday. So it's typical that you're now having different pages here. But look, I combined the new user and the existing user because your activity has a button there that you could have log in at the same time and register at the same time. So perhaps I can include this one though. So what I did is that activity 7 is now I incorporate here, the code of your login and register. And this one is basically now from different database. And if you remember, our database was X1. Remember X1? Yeah. Our database was X1 or EX1, and our table was only card before. Remember that one? So now I added login, which is also available from your PowerPoint. So the login that we have done yesterday is this one. This is the table login. So I asked them to create this one individually, but incorporated it from the mini project, I asked them to add a new table, which is logins. So only missing here is this one. We made this one as a unique, right? So once that you have it, you can just write any information there, right? But anyhow, we will also test your form of login or register if it works properly. So look at this. So Saeed, or let's say Ahmed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once that you have successfully logged in, Ahmed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then log in. You can see I just pulled out one of the file, which is retrieve or view, right? So this one is what we have performed on our CRUD. You can delete, you can update. So the catch here is, since I'm already inside this list of cards, and have you noticed that the username appears and printed to another page? That is because of the session. So this session had been authenticated, validated from your code that your username and password is the same from your database. And once that is satisfied, $_session will print here. So which means we can now take out that information. Now, this is one example that we want to check if the session is active. Do you think I can jump straight away from this page? Yes. If I will copy this one, this URL, and paste it in your other tab, it will still be open. But then, yesterday's activity, we have done logout. So the logout will literally terminate. Where's my logout? Literally will unset all the variables, like your session variables, it will be unset. If I click that button, it's an action. Basically, it's a form. It's an action that will call logout.php. So for now, the session is still active because I did not execute this unset session and destroy. So let's see what will happen if I log out. And you remember I copy paste the view card, right? Anything? Any idea? Do you think this will load supposedly? It depends. If my code doesn't have that session all the time, it might load. But for now, let's see. If I enter it, it don't allow me to load now. Remember, it has a parameter. It appears there that the main page 2 needs a session. So where is the main page 2? The main page 2 here is, where's the main page? Oh, here. The main page has The session must be start, but using the iSet function. If not, meaning if this is not available in the session, the username cannot be seen though, the session variable cannot be seen. So one of the handful functionality of the header location here, it will revert back to login. So that's the beauty of destroying the session. But perhaps if you're not yet logging in, right, still you will come back to this login that page. Probably you can do one thing. Maybe this one will be indexed that page in your mini project, right? So it could be a reusable code in your project. You can work on this one though, but perhaps maybe this is a different file, right? So this will happen if the session is not yet started. If the session was unset and destroyed, it will go back to log in that PHP. So this is one of the files from your yesterday's activity using your home page if you are already successfully logged in, right? And you can see that button before when I was logged in. There is a submit button and the logout will call upon, right? So once again, I will try to log in different user. What else? Which user I can use? Let's say Omar, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, let me log in as Omar. Omar. Right, this one is A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. Right, log in. Okay, see, Omar session is been authenticated. Of course, it was been started already. Right. Perhaps only one thing for sure is the menu profile is there. So basically, we can also display this profile based on your information from your table. But make sure that profile is only belongs to Oman. Right. That once again you need to make a session there. So probably in your project you have this one, or if you don't have it, at least you have a functionality of your login page that will also validate your username and password. Probably minimum of 2 tables you should have in your mini project. Right. So later I might check it out before the class will end. Right. Okay. Now this logout, of course, very important when it comes to your web application. But one thing is missing in your improvement of session is the session can be also be terminated. Depends on the time duration. If no one is using the application for some time, maybe about more than 1 minute, the session will expire. Have you noticed that one in some of your application? I think your CIMS is like that, right? If you don't do anything or clicking somewhere there in your login inside your CIMS, the session will automatically terminate. So that is also one advantage of a duration for the session. But here, we don't have it. We don't use that functionality. But if we log out, of course, we can perform that one. Only I think missing is when I click this update. I'm working now with another page. I think this page is not yet given a session. I can copy paste this one. Look, I can copy this one and later paste. It should work though because my session still works. But I remembered I did not make session on this page yet. Okay, I'll show you the demonstration if I will sign out. If I will, okay. Basically, I don't have a sign out there. Okay, what is that one? Ahmed. Ahmed. A, B, C, D, E. Oh, what is this one? 1 sec. What is the password? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Ahmed. Okay. Ahmed. Because I did not terminate yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I will sign out. Remember, I copied this link for update. It's loading. Now I will close this one and log out. I will try to copy the same link. It will still come. Why? Because I don't apply session on this page. So which means the start session, let's say for the home page, which I have done, the start session is all the time must be there. Where is that one? Where is my home page? Oh, this is my page, right? The start session all the time is there, and this checking the session or login must be there, because if this one is not here, you can still copy paste it even you terminate the session. You know what? If even the session is there, but I remove this one, I can now bypass it without the session. So this is the tricky part here. This if I set or not I set, if it doesn't sense that it doesn't have a value from a session variable, this automatic will come. Perhaps if not, this will not execute. You will still be loading a certain page, right? So maybe I can put here else statement. I can go down to the home page of the user who successfully logged in. Right. See, if I will copy this one though, you want to copy this one, and remember what page I'm pasting? It was update car.php. Okay, update car.php. Let me find that code, that file, update car.php. Okay, I need a database connectivity, but I will also add somewhere here that if statement, but with the session, right? Now this time, let me try it now. I will try this one. Let me go back here. Okay. I think I already terminated the session. Let's say Ahmed. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm logged in. Let me try to open one update here. I'm still good. Okay, but let me try to sign out. Right, if I'm going to paste it over there, it won't allow me. Right. So it's very handful, not even because you're just including only the session start, but you know what? The magic is based on this logic, right? That's why iSet is become a part of our lesson in this chapter. We came back once again here. Our recent chapters, we have used it but not quite often because we don't know the actual reason why we use iSet. See, iSet is there. Right? The function iSet is very handful in the if statement because this is built in to check the session variable if it's already set or no. Because before we use the iSet, if you click the radio button, right? If you click the tick box. But this time, it's better to use now iSet whenever we're now using a session. So you see, put all session in your pages, in your mini project. Yesterday, you have adopted the login, right? Oh, good. So let me just complete this one and we're done. Right. So, only with this one actually, only with this code, everything became possible now, only because of this code. Because of course, during your login process, this is not possible if you not done the validate underscore login. And this one is very important. Okay, by the way, I haven't tested yet the insert. Okay, let's say I will write Amina. Password is 1234. If I register, okay, you know why? Because there's a validation that requires me to have a minimum password, and that is because of the preg match. It's there, right? Preg match. So which means it must be 5. So from the file of validate underscore login.php, it's a bit bloated because The database connectivity is there, the parameter database is there.
How you make it end number?
We don't write this one. But this is good for a strong password, right? Even though you don't have letters or number combination, maybe full number, maybe minimum of 7 numbers only. So I can change this one, this value though, right? But if you make this one as letter, you will also include another preg match here with the letter from small letter A, small letter B. Another preg match here, you will write the example 0 to 9. Maybe at least minimum number is 2 from your password. Another one, preg match letter A, small letter A to small letter Z. Minimum of letters may be 3. You will write there 3. Another preg match for capital letter, capital A. Yes, copy and paste. So in total, how many maximum length? Maybe 8, right? So which means the length must be 8. So this time, that's why this one is coming as an error here, a message. So once again, let me try it. Amina, and I will do it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it must be successful though. But perhaps I did not change this message. It came up there in the home page. But anyhow, it should appear here. So once that it's already registered, we'll see our database. We'll see, refresh this one. And it must be in the login. There, Amina. It's there. Now let me try to log in. So if I log in Amina now, this time it must be authenticated. Her password is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So not register anymore, huh? Because you know what will happen if I register again? Do you think this will save? But yesterday it was saved. Yesterday it was saved. Why? Because I forgot to set the constraint of unique in the username. Column as a unique one, of course, now this code will work fine. So that meaning only one user will be accepted. Right. So let me try to log in now, Amina. Okay. So let's say Amina. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And log in. And there you go. Right? So next meeting. Okay, I'm done now. I'll check your project now. Yes. Right. See the delete. Can I delete? Yes, it will delete because there's no other page will come. That's good. Okay, 1 minute. But only I came to this page, viewcard.php. This one doesn't have a session, so I have to put session also here. So pretty much all your pages must have a session, right? View cost. So again, halfway though, more than halfway, because this one is. We can also improve your menu. You could have several menu, by the way. You could have menu for the index, the home page, without authentication. You could have also a menu for those authenticated. So if I sign out, I will use the other menu of the home page. Right. So okay. Let me just check your attendance, and I will check now your. Don't forget your quiz next meeting. Your quiz next meeting. It's only about CRUD. One database connectivity file, and you don't know which one will come. Is it insert, create, delete, or search? The most difficult is the search, the update, by the way. The most simple is the view. Retrieve. Okay. Yes, display. So it's only chapter 6. Chapter 6. Which we will first finish the quiz on Monday. And then succeeding day, presentation of your mini project. 10 to 15 minutes for group. And at the same time, we will practice also. We will review for your final exam.